seconds. We have complete clearance for launch. We are go. 20. 9. Guidance internal. Ignition sequence start. 5. 4.
Howdy, neighbors. May the Lord bless you.
We figured out a long time ago that it's much easier to control people when we're all watching the same TV shows, listening to the same radio stations, going to the same movies, looking at the same billboards, eating the same food, and speaking the same language.
I'm talking about my life. I can't seem to get that through to you. I'm not just talking about one person, I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about form. I'm talking about content. I'm talking about interrelationships. I'm talking about God, the devil, hell, heaven. Do you understand? Finally!
All will obey Santa in this new world order. Oh, yeah?
You're going to have to answer to the Coca-Cola company.
That sounds like a lot of...
There is only one holistic system of systems. One vast and amazing interactive multinational dominion of dollars. Multinational dominion
which will produce and control hallucinations to the point that it will change human reality.
PsiOp Radio.
Decoding the psychological warfare machinations within paranormal and parapolitical landscapes. PsiOp Radio.
All right. Welcome to another live edition of PsiOp Radio. I'm Smiles Lewis.
And I'm Mack White.
And this is our 155th episode. This is October 30th, 2011, transmitting to you from Halloween season.
Yes, it's Halloween weekend.
And the machines are humming. The hyperspace elves are all a Twitter. How the heck are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, and how about you? That was a great lecture last Tuesday.
Well, thank you so much.
Good.
As usual, I was pretty stressed out about it. At the time, I didn't feel all that great about it, but then upon reflection and upon all the wonderful kudos that I've gotten from folks, it was really well received. Mm-hmm. And upon listening back to the recording, I'm like, oh, okay, I actually did make sense. I did kind of, tell a little story, sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it ended up being just part one of the magnum opus that is UFOs in consciousness.
And I think you said that you're going to have part one, the video of that put online.
Yeah, actually, I just finished recently editing the audio, and so we'll be posting an audio podcast of that. Of course, it's not as much fun without the visuals, which our friend Floyd Anderson is going to perhaps put together for us, and that should be very interesting. I actually have the PowerPoint and a PDF version of it and the pictures, and I'll probably be posting a web version of it along with the podcast on behalf of the Anomaly Archives, because it's really intended as an overview and a launching pad for inquiry on folks who are interested in all the many, many different ways that you can approach in the study of UFOs and consciousness and alien abductions and contact with mysterious others. All the good stuff. And what have you been up to, my friend?
Well, had the book festival event Saturday morning to the Texas Book Festival here in Austin, Texas. Mike Kirby and myself were there Saturday morning signing copies of Texas Tales Illustrated, The Revolution, the book that Mike wrote and I drew. It's a graphic novel about the Texas Revolution, and it was very well received. We had a really good turnout there, and then I left there and had a big weekend in North Texas, and came back exhausted. And the next day, though, we did radio here, and you and I both, the show that you have with the other White co-host, Tom White, Austin News and Views. That was a great show as well.
It was.
That was a Monday, and then Thursday, once again, you and I were on another great radio show, Robert Larson's Out the Rabbit Hole in KUCI.
In solidarity with the Occupy movement.
That was
again.
Michaela J. from Occupy Toronto was on the line as well, and we had a great discussion. And wow, how things can change in just a few days, because that was Thursday, and little did we know, while we were talking about how, well, everything's peaceful and cool and mellow and the vibes are good here in Austin, we didn't know that at that time, neither did the people at Occupy Austin down there occupying the plaza at City Hall, nobody knew that the rules had been changed, and they didn't tell the people at the protest about it. Art Acevedo, the police chief here in Austin, even met with one of the leaders of this thing. It's a non-leader movement, but there are people who are spokespersons for it. And apparently Acevedo knew about it because he was going to lead this raid. and nobody told him. And so last night, to our surprise, I'm up late watching the events unfold at Occupy Denver. And, you know, I mean, so much has been happening. We were on the air on KUCI with Robert talking about the terrible developments in Oakland. Right. And at least we didn't have violence here last night, but the police changed the rules. They, without any warning and without any notification, they did, I think, tack a note to a bulletin board somewhere at City Hall or on the door or something, and that was supposed to be notification. At any rate, they suddenly banned any sleeping in the park, as well as banned the use of tables. And if there was a table up after 6 p.m., then it had to come down, otherwise that's camping. And so, not knowing about these rules, suddenly, it was, late last night. I was about to turn the computer off. I'd been following the dramatic events at Occupy Denver, San Diego the night before. It's been so much going on.
Nashville and all.
Yes, in Nashville. And there, to my surprise, on my Facebook feed from Occupy Austin is a help, help, the cops are coming. And they ended up arresting 42 people at last count, part of a nationwide, not all police departments, but it looks coordinated to me. They're all doing this at once, a coordinated attack on the First Amendment in this country in several cities. And it happened in Austin. And so everything nice that I said about Art Acevedo, I take it back.
Yeah, well, about the most we were saying was he was using it as a photo op, and
that
so
was too
far
kind.
Hadn't broken out the riot cops. Well,
yeah, but we know that he has certainly done some things. The vampire blood
draws.
Yeah, the no refusal blood withdrawals that they're doing this weekend. Well, there's that, and also the fusion centers.
Yep.
He's been pushing
any
that.
opportunities to take federal funds for the militarization of law enforcement. He's all for it.
But it did look like the Austin Police Department was really going out of their way to, make this possible, to have this thing here without incident. And while we didn't have violence, it didn't get that ugly. No protesters were hit in the face with rubber bullets, and nobody was tear gassed. But a lot of damage was done to the First Amendment here in Austin, Texas last night.
I had been commenting on the OTRH show about OWS in Austin, growing and not really standing up to the camping ordinance. And as you said, that they were allowing people to sleep but not camp. And then slowly, like I said, one tent or two tents, and they're just waiting to put the hammer down. And with the weather change comes a change in the political scene.
But there were a bunch of cities. I've got a list here. Boston, 100 arrested. Santa Barbara, 8. San Francisco, I don't have an arrest count here. San Jose, 7. Nashville had problems, 29. Oakland, 100 or more. Chicago, 130. Cincinnati, 11. San Diego, 51. San Diego was really exciting to watch because, they... just as in Oakland, they took the plaza back. And, the cops come out one night and they arrest all these people brutally, and I guess in a show of force to maybe deter people from coming down there and getting, hurt. And the next day, even more show up. There were 2,000 on the steps of the Denver State Capitol yesterday in Colorado. 200. And the cops moved in there. And, you can see all the pictures online of the police brutality, tear gassings, just right in people's faces.
Our Denver correspondent texted me another image of the riot cops out in full force, and he said he had gotten there just after that footage was shot that showed them indiscriminately pepper spraying and rubber bulleting the crowd.
Police and riot gear in occupied Denver. Protesters are crashing again, and we are following it for you live. A 90s-photo journalist was in Civic Center Park on another story when he found himself in the middle of a face-off between police and protesters. An officer shot a steady stream of pepper spray there into the crowd. Then come rubber bullets. This man got some of the spray in his face. People near him trying to help, calling for more water to help flush out his eyes.
Let's get the latest now from 9 News reporter Nelson Garcia. He is live at Civic Center Park downtown. And Nelson, there were some tense moments there.
There were definitely some tense moments, and that was just about a little over an hour and a half ago. Things are still pretty tense right now, but as you can see right behind me, the crowd is still there. Things have calmed down quite a bit. Broadway remains closed as dozens of police officers in riot gear have occupied the space taken by the occupied Denver protesters. All the action started just after 3 o'clock when police tried to get a man to take down a tent in Civic Center Park.
The only thing that happened is they asked us.
Making arrests, the crowd started to push in on them. Officers fired rubber bullets into the crowd as well as pepper spray and mace. As you can imagine, this got the crowd even more agitated, spurring Denver police to bring in more and more officers in riot gear. Eventually, things settled down when police were able to form a circle and separate the crowd. But if you ask protesters, they say police escalated the situation unnecessarily.
Only thing that happened is they asked us to take a tent down. Some kid was standing too close to them. They just started attacking everybody, spraying people with mace, arresting them. We did nothing. This is supposed to be a peaceful protest, and they're attacking us.
Unfortunately, at one point, that group did try to occupy the Capitol, which is illegal. We made sure that they knew that. It was pretty clear that they weren't allowed to do that. They tried to do it anyway. So we had to step in and push them off. Things escalated. We did have to call out citywide for assistance.
Lieutenant Matt Murray with Denver Police says in the end, 7 people were arrested for various...
Yeah. My correspondent still says that the cops are really nice there.
Well, it didn't look very nice in that video.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
They're real nice until the raid starts, and which makes it so you don't really take it too seriously anymore. I don't. Whenever they say, "Oh, we really support you secretly," it's starting to feel like they've just been humoring us. Just waiting for, the moment to show their true colors. But, yeah.
Well, yeah, I just was going to say, I'm not sure where to go from here. I mean, on the one hand, I think the biggest thing is potentially the response to the shooting of the veteran in Oakland and the response that's gotten in terms of increasing the fallout from Shamar, the Marine, shouting down the New York cops. But yeah, but one of them being shot, has brought them all out. And now there's nurses and teachers, unions threatening to strike and support and solidarity.
November 2nd. That's coming up here real quick. There's going to be a general strike.
And that really, to me, that's where this really all the rubber meets the road. If that kind of thing can spread as just like this occupation movement is spreading, strikes are what will end the craziness.
Throwing yourself on the machine.
Yeah, like Mario Savio said.